Welcome to the Michael Zehr Show. Today's date is Friday, October 20th, 2023, and we're coming to you live from the Rising Eagle Studios here at the Warrior Healing Center in Sierra Vista, Arizona. Today, my special guest veteran is a volunteer that works right here at the center. And he's also a fellow brother knight, Knights of Columbus. So Gerald Lane, also known as Jersey. So Jersey, thank you so much for taking time out and sitting down and sharing your story with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love telling these stories and doing these interviews because I think that every veteran story is unique, and by getting their story out, it lets people in our community know exactly what our veterans do within our community to help and everything. So again, I really appreciate you sitting down with me this morning. So the first thing I'd like to ask you is, what was it that inspired you to join the military, and what branch did you join?
I joined the U.S. Army. What
Okay.
brought me to the U.S. Army was, well, most people watched on September 11th. Most people watched September 11th on their TVs. The towers falling. I actually watched it in real life.
Oh, wow.
I was coming back from a all-night birthday party for a friend of mine, and I get a call from my grandmother asking me where I'm at. So I tell her I'm at the highest point in the town back in New Jersey. And so I look over and I see a tower smoking. And I'm like, oh, this ain't good. Next thing you know, I see the second plane hit the tower. And I'm freaking out and didn't know what to do. So I rush down to back home, drop off my car, and run. I lived a block away from the beach. So I end up running to the beach, watch both towers fall. Next thing I did was go down to my marina, because we have it's a ferry docking station.
Okay.
The ferry goes from New Jersey over to 6th Street Seaport in New York.
Okay.
So I went down there to see what I could volunteer for, and they were like, well, do you have any military service or a background? I said, no, sir, I don't. Do you have any medical background? No, sir, I don't. Well, then you can't do anything. You can't help us in any way. I was like, I can pass out waters. They're like, no, you don't.
Right.
You don't have the clearance to. So I felt so exposed to the point that I felt vulnerable, couldn't do anything to help. So I made a promise to myself I'd never feel that way again, and kept eating at me. And about a year and a half later, I joined the military and been going strong ever since.
And why was it that you chose the Army for that?
Funny story. I went to join the Marines. And guy that was mentoring me that I used to work with was prior Marine. He's like, yeah, just join the Marines. I was like, okay, I'll try it. So I go over to the Marines, and the recruiter's like, well, you shouldn't. Yeah, you came to the right place. You shouldn't join the Army. The Army is for crap. The Army's for people that are dumb and this and that, and ragging on the Army. So I was like, oh, I was like, even the people that served in the Army? It's like, yeah, especially the people that served in the Army. I said, so like my father who served in the Army, like my uncles, my grandfather, my great grandfather. I was like, so it's like, so all of them just are crap. He was like, well, I said, have a good day. Walked over to the Army recruiter and signed up that day.
Wow.
Yes,
So you have military service that runs in your family then, it sounds like.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, my father served in the 80s, and so did my uncle. They were both paratroopers at Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Did they both make it a career, or was it like a
No,
Short enlistment.
It was a short enlistment. They
Uh-huh.
did their enlistment and got out.
Yeah, but the fact that they served, I mean, and I find that when I do these interviews, that a lot of military people have that uh, that family history of service to our country,
Oh yes, sir.
and it's so admirable. And so tell me, can you tell us first off, how many years did you serve in the Army?
Okay. I served 11 years active, and I served 7 years reservist.
Okay.
I was a combat engineer for.
I was going to ask you, what was your MOS?
Yeah, I was a combat engineer, which I loved, but at that point, I served from 2003 to 10 years, excuse me, 2003 to 2010,
Okay.
or 2013, excuse me. 2003 to 2013, I served as a combat engineer. Then the Army was going to a different place that I didn't fit into that groove, but I didn't want to get out, so I switched my enlistment to the reserves and served
Okay.
in the reserves as an 88 Mike.
So why did you choose to be a combat engineer? And can you give us a little bit of an idea what your MOS was, like what some of your duties were?
Oh, my duties were landmines, demolition, obstacles. Before we ended up doing roadside clearance, searching
Okay.
for IEDs.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was a trip. It was definitely a trip.
So I'm guessing then you were in Iraq or Afghanistan then, correct?
Yes, sir.
You were over there doing
I
that?
served my country over in Iraq from 2003 to 2004. Then again, I deployed. First deployment was out of Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. I
Okay.
did basic AIT, and that was my first duty station. And as soon as I graduated basic training, they sent me off to meet up with my unit. Then served faithfully over in Taji, Iraq.
Okay.
Came back in 2004. Then my second deployment, I left Fort Leonard Wood and ended up going to Fort Bliss, Texas in 2005. From 2005 to 2008, I served at Fort Bliss, Texas. And from 2006 to 2007, late 2007, 15-month deployment, I was in Iraq again,
Okay.
this time in Mosul, which was interesting. It was, we lost...
That was a hot spot there.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
lost my company commander, God bless him, and one of my friends who also served, who was his driver.
Uh-huh.
They got hit with a 6,000-pound IED,
Wow.
deep embedded, and it was just, yeah, it was definitely crazy. Then we redeployed, and then I left there in 2008, went to Fort Riley, Kansas, served with the First Engineer Battalion, and deployed from there in 2009 to 2010 to Afghanistan. And
Oh, so you've been in Afghanistan as well then?
Yes, sir.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, served in Afghanistan and
And how long were you there for?
a year.
Okay.
Yes, sir. A year in Afghanistan, and we swept, did route clearance from Bagram Air Force Base down all the way close down to Kandahar,
Okay.
which was like a huge area. We had I had 2 bedrooms, one in a town called Ghazni, and the other one was in a town called Sharana. And we ended up, I slept in my bed, each bed maybe twice a month. The rest of the time we're out on the road.
Wow.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting time, sir.
Do you find that you keep in touch with your battle buddies that you made, those friendships when you were over there in Afghanistan and Iraq?
Yeah,
Are you able to keep in touch with any of them?
yeah. For the most part, all the people that I all the people that I became close with, I keep in contact with. One of my old sergeants, me and him still talk maybe once a month. For my last deployment, then prior to that, one of my best friends still lives in Fort Bliss. We stay in contact quite a bit.
Good.
And from my first duty station, I have a friend of mine that whenever I'm in Missouri, I give him a call, and we still keep in contact, still visit. He's like, all of them are like my brothers.
Yeah, because a lot of people probably don't understand. I mean, serving in the military is one thing, but serving in combat is a totally different type of service. And those relationships and friendships that you make, they're important that we keep in touch with your battle buddies, because of with all of the different issues and stuff that these veterans are facing once they get out and have to go back out into the civilian world. So I'm glad to hear that you guys are keeping in touch with. That's good.
Oh, yes, sir.
So tell us, what was your favorite duty station?
My favorite duty station would probably be the first time when I was in Fort Bliss, Texas. It was just before it was before 1st Armor got there, and I was part of 4th Brigade, 1st Cavalry Division.
Okay.
And it was great. Like, I mean, Fort Bliss was a small post. We were the only units that deployed. We were out on the Biggs Army Airfield. That's where we had our barracks, and like we lived in the old Sergeant Major housing. They were building new ones, but the old ones we used them as barracks, and it was just fun. Like, I mean, the MPs didn't come out there because the unit was so wild that we pretty much cleaned up our own messes if anything happened.
Right.
So the MPs were kind of scared to come over there because it was, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
Yeah.
So I made a lot of good friends there. I was stationed there twice from, the first time 2005 to 2005 to 2008. Then the second time from 2010, I stayed there all the way up until 2017.
Wow. Did you get a chance to go out to White Sands Missile Range much?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't that a pretty interesting place?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I spent my last official duty station for the military was Las Cruces, New Mexico. That's where I retired out of.
Okay. So what made Fort Bliss your favorite duty station out of any of the places that you served?
Just the camaraderie.
Yeah.
I mean, I met a lot of good people.
Okay.
A lot of good leaders, a lot of good leadership. We had when I was first stationed there, we had this sergeant major that literally he led so well that we'd follow him through hell.
Yeah?
Yeah, like, I mean, this guy, we're deployed, and he's first one, if there's a convoy out, he's the first one out. He wants to be the first one out following that convoy. So one day they got into a firefight, and he was the second vehicle, and the first vehicle got hit. He hops out as his gunner is scanning. He hops out the vehicle, goes to the driver of the vehicle in front of him, pulls the driver out, and as he's pulling the Mac, like, I mean, he ends up getting shot in his arm,
Oh my.
shot in the leg, and somebody else comes out, starts pulling him back, and as he's getting pulled back, he's still shooting and killing people, like, I mean, the enemy.
Right.
So it was we would follow him through hell and back. He ends up going home for 2 weeks, and 2 weeks later he shows back up. He paid his own way to Germany, caught a ride from Germany to Kuwait, then Kuwait to Iraq. And 2 weeks later he's out there, has a cane in his hand, and he's ready to go back out on the first convoy.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, really good leadership.
That's dedication.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What positive experience did you take away from your service in the military?
Just to, it's kind of like the motto that I live by. It's, I'm too blessed to be stressed. I try to, the positive thing that I take out of it is just to live life the way it's been given to you. Like, I mean, our Lord sacrificed himself for us, and no matter what, there's someone who's more of in a bad situation than yourself. So you want to look at the positive side and go from there. Try to stay positive always.
Oh, that's a great answer. I like that.
Yes, sir.
What advice would you give to anybody that's considering on joining the military?
Choose your job. Choose the job that you want. And if a recruiter says, no, I don't have that job, then tell them that you're going to wait. Make sure you choose the job that you want, not what they want.
Right.
Yeah. And have fun. Have fun. Travel. Don't let if you have a first duty station and you don't like it and it's bad, then bad to you. Don't let the first duty station ruin your Army career. Go to the next one and you might have a
better experience
and a better outlook.
Oh, very good. I like that.
Oh, yes, sir.
So tell us, Jersey, if you would, how did you end up living here in Cochise County?
When I got off active, I bounced around from job to job and ended up working for a company called SAIC, which is a big contracting company. I worked for them for about a good 3 years in El Paso, Texas.
Okay.
The contract ended. Then I hopped on a contract with a company called Oshkosh Defense, and they're producing the brand new vehicle, the JRTV, that's replacing all the Humvees in the military. So I hopped on that contract doing communications, testing radios.
I didn't know they were replacing the Humvees.
Oh, yes, sir. They're replacing all the Humvees in the military.
Okay.
And I hopped on a contract testing radio equipment, antennas, frequencies.
Right.
And then their contract was here. So I ended up packing up, moving a family, and we moved here.
Yeah. What was your first impression when you first got here? Because you had never been stationed here, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. My first impression was, what did I get myself into? It was good. Like, I mean, my first impression was no more traffic.
Uh-huh.
I didn't miss the traffic, but then after that, I realized that it was a retiree town, which there's nothing wrong with a retiree town.
No.
But it was just a lot slower than what I was used to in El Paso.
I hear this a lot of times that there's not a lot for young children and stuff to do in our area, but it's always still a great place to raise a family and to raise your children in this area. It's a safe area.
Oh yeah, I love living here. I love living here. The only downside for me is because I'm a New Jersey boy.
Uh-huh. No beaches?
No beaches, no water. Like, I mean, they have a lake. Like, I mean, you got Parker Canyon and
Right. Ridge Lake
in Patagonia, but they're just too small for me. Like, I mean,
right.
I love the water. I miss the ocean. One day we'll move. Myself and my family will move back to the East Coast, but other than that, I would stay here. Like, I mean, it's a perfect place to live, just not perfect for me.
Did you do a lot of fishing and stuff, or was it more the water activities like maybe jet skiing or skiing, or what is it about the beach that you miss so much?
Just waking up and, like, I mean, I grew up to the point I can look outside my bedroom window and see New York City skyline.
Gotcha. Okay.
Then just being so close to the beach, there's a certain smell. You can smell the sea, smell the ocean, and I miss that smell. And while I was there, I fished and crabbed from April to September was crabbing season. So I would go crabbing with my aunt and uncle.
Uh-huh.
We'd grab crab baskets, throw them out, tie them off, then pretty much fish all day.
Wow.
And every hour we check the crab baskets, grab the crabs, scoop them up with the net, put them in the bucket, drop the trap again, catch crabs all day that way, and just pretty much fish, listen to music, and just relax. It was a great time.
Yeah, not to have all of that like stress and pressure and everything, just to have that easy like laid back life. So it's
Oh yes, sir.
yeah. So tell me about some of your volunteer work that you do. I know that you're with the Knights of Columbus, and I know that you do some volunteering through them, and I know that you do here at the Warrior Healing Center. So why don't you share with us, if you would, please, what your volunteer.
First and foremost, I love volunteering.
Mhm.
I volunteer at St. Andrew's Catholic Church here in town. I volunteer with the youth group for Life Teen.
Okay. What is it about volunteering that speaks to you?
Just giving back.
Giving back?
Giving back. Like, I mean, I wasn't very religious growing up.
Okay.
So, like, I mean, just giving back, like, I mean, the Lord provided me with a wonderful life, and I want to give back any way I can.
Okay. So you volunteer, you said, at Life Teen.
I volunteer at Life Teen with the teens.
Okay.
I try to encourage and mentor the teens as best as I can. Tomorrow we have a trip for a day retreat with the kids. We're gonna hike up to a cave, and while we're in the cave, there's the boys group. We hike up to the cave, and while we're in the cave, we're gonna do mass.
Yeah, that's got to be cool.
Yeah, it is. It's gonna be my third year in a row going.
Wow.
And it's fun. Do mass in the dark, have flashlights. After that, hike back down the mountain, eat lunch, then do some type of project with the kids.
Doing it in the cave, it kind of gives you that experience of what it would have been like back in Jesus's time.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes, that's the point of it. To know and just be one with God and one with Jesus.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I know that you do some other volunteering around the church as a night too. Don't you help out with like when there's special call outs and stuff like for nights for the lights that's coming up, the festival lights?
Yeah,
help me out. Father of Lights. Thank you.
Father of Lights, yes sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to volunteer wherever I can with the Knights of Columbus. We have Father of Lights coming up October 31st at St. Andrew's. We're doing our own. We're not going to be at Lynn Roberts Park this year. We'll be on campus doing festival. It's going to be a festival and different projects and different activities that we're going to perform for the kids and we'll have candy, and I believe we'll have a trunk or treat and
Right. Giving out corn dogs.
giving out corn dogs. As
Plenty of
usual.
games for the kids.
Yes, sir.
And then they said also make sure when the kids come not to wear any like the scary costumes, but they want them to come dressed as like their favorite saint or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, have them dressed as their favorite saint.
So that's an interesting twist on Halloween because it doesn't make it so
Yeah.
dark and evil and scary. So
Yeah. Yeah, and I've also volunteered here at the Warrior Healing Center, which I love volunteering.
how did you get connected with the Warrior Healing Center?
Well, funny story. I came in one day, and because I was just feeling down and depressed, and sat down, talked to the person up front, named Beverly,
Yeah.
and Beverly we just talked, myself, her, and Miss Pam. Got to talking. Then the next day, I left, came back the next day. Same thing, got to talking. Left, came back. The third day, they were like, well, if you're going to be here, we might as well put you to work and you might as well volunteer here. So that's how I ended up volunteering here, and I've been steady volunteering here ever since. Like, I love what I do. I volunteer at the front desk on Monday afternoons.
Mm-hmm.
Between that and going to school full time, if
Right.
I'm not at school, then I'm here helping out. I walk through the center, make sure in the mornings I'm usually the first one here besides whoever's opening up.
Right.
Just for the fact that we have so many activities that go on at night, from hula dancing to
Flute for Vets.
belly dancing to flute for vets to multiple different organizations that have their meetings here.
Support groups and stuff.
Groups,
Yeah.
and
Right.
we've had veterans that tried to sleep here at night one time. So I come in the morning and I'll sweep the building, check in to see we don't have any stowaways, and mostly females open up in the morning. And I just
Right.
don't want them I want them to feel safe.
Right.
So if I'll help that way and help whatever way I can. I do yard work here, from yard work to pretty much anything that they ask me to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I would like to encourage anybody watching this video, if you don't have anything to do and volunteering speaks near and dear to your heart, I'd like to encourage you to go out and volunteer. And we're always needing people here at the Warrior Healing Center. Just come in through the front door, and right there's a computer. If not, there's one in the computer lab that has a volunteer form on it, and you just sit down and fill out the form and put down what your interests are and how you think that you could help. We've got a lot of different clubs and organizations that work out through here. We got the garden club that maintains the garden outside and the water feature. We've got the cooks club that does all the cooking for the bagels and brew and the fun food Friday. And speaking of bagel and brew, real quick, I really enjoyed the one that we had yesterday. What did you think?
I thought it was wonderful. It was a good turnout.
Yes.
I was told we had about a good 60 something people
Right.
that came for the event, and it was wonderful. A good camaraderie, good food, and it was really good.
And there were 5 therapy dogs that were out there too in the break room. That was unexpected. I walked in and I saw them, and each one of the dogs had their own little like trading card with their picture on it and their name, and then on the back side it would talk about their owner and their breed and stuff. So that was really cool as well.
Yeah, it was cute.
So,
It was cute. Don't forget we have you said the flutes for vets.
yeah.
Yeah, flutes for vets, which is always good. I'm part of that club too.
Yeah, you enjoy it?
Yeah, I enjoy it. Like,
did you get your own Native American flute yet? Have you graduated?
Almost. I have two more sessions till I graduate, and it's wonderful. Like, it's one, it's good camaraderie. Two,
Uh-huh.
you're learning a new skill. And three, it's very relaxing.
Well, I was trying to tell Beverly too. If you guys, maybe you and Mike that I interviewed last week or a couple
2
weeks
weeks
ago,
ago.
maybe 3 or 4 of you could come in and play for us. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And that way it would give people an idea of what the Flute for Vets is, and it might pique their interest more.
Yeah.
So
We also have the drum circle tonight.
drum circle.
Yeah, drum circles tonight from 5 o'clock. I believe it's at 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock here at the Warrior Healing Center.
Okay.
Out front. If you don't have a drum, don't worry about it. There's drums to borrow. Just come on out. Just pretty much jam out. Just let the beat, let the feeling take you.
Wow. Yeah, you don't have to be a musician.
And you don't have to be a veteran either.
Right. So, and then we have some other. You said the hula dancing, and we have healing with art. And if you want to know a whole list of the events, when you come into the center, you walk in the front door. The front desk people that are there will be happy to provide you with a list of events for the week. And if you are on Facebook, you can also go to the Warrior Healing Center Facebook page, and they're posted up there as well. And then I also run a group. We're up to almost 350 members, almost. It's called Cochise County Arizona Veterans, and it's a veterans group. That's a Facebook group. That's I started because I wanted to get information out to veterans, and I thought the easiest way to do that would be to start this group. So I put things out there through that the VA sends me a lot of like stuff for rehab, or they'll send out emails on MLS treatments, updated MLS treatments, flu shots. So we're putting out all of this information to veterans in this group to try and inform you of things that do affect you here in our area, so that you can keep up to date on that. So if you'd like to join that group, I would love to have you join that group as well. I don't know if you're in the group, Gerald, so maybe
Yes.
you can join. Are you?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir,
good.
I am.
So.
Yes, sir, I am. I remember you welcomed me last year.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
And then another thing is because I volunteer at the Warrior Healing Center, and this place is so near and dear to my heart, I partnered the group up with them. So a lot of the information and the events are also put out in that group as well.
Yes,
So, and then we get some groups, some members that will share stuff in there, like renting houses on Fort Huachuca. I didn't know that retired military personnel could rent houses up on Fort Huachuca, and they can.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, like I said, all of this different information is put out there as well. And before closing, I just want to remind everybody on Fridays, it's the it's the Food Truck Fridays out at Gunny's Barbecue, and it started at 11 o'clock, and it goes till 7 o'clock tonight, and that's at Gunny's Barbecue. It's out at 5043 South Highway 92 in Sierra Vista. It's out there by that speedway that's on the left-hand side on the east side of the road. So make sure that you go out and support the food trucks and Gunny's while you're out there as well. And last but not least, if you're a veteran-owned business, there's also a veteran-owned business network that meets here. And if you're not a part of that and you would like to become part of that veteran-owned business, by all means come into the center and we'll get you signed up for that as well. So, Jersey, do you have anything that you'd like to say in closing?
No, thank you.
You're good?
Yep, thank you.
Well, thank you so much again
Thank you very
for
much.
sitting down with me and sharing your story with us. And thank you so much for your service. And
One more thing.
yes, please.
We're looking for more volunteers. If you guys have time, the energy, it could be just an hour once a week or multiple. Just take your time. But we're looking for more volunteers, and we'd love to see you guys out here.
Amen. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining me. And I'll be back again next Friday, October 27th, with another edition of the show. So have a great day and a great weekend, and we'll see you next week, everybody. Take care. Bye.